there are some people in life, particularly on the journey of rugby league, that when you see them, you can't help but just smile and you just start buzzing, get excited, and just want to go and give him a cuddle. And that's what I'm like with this guy, Richie Mathers. How are you, pal?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, nice to see you as always. It's great to see you, like you say. It's and you're one of them people as well. Yeah, it's always great to see you, Jonesy and Simo and all the guys.
Got some good old memories. Some of them probably rather forget, but he even smells nice as well, and he looks sharp. That's the best part about it. Corporate branding. That's where the game needs to go. Looking sharp. Bit of Phil Clark in you. Is that where you're going? Somewhere like that? Phil Clark corporate, getting it out there, taking the game into the stratosphere.
That's a dream, Jonesy. That's a dream. That's where the game deserves to be. I've been fortunate in my transition. I did the player welfare for a period, but always had the commercial interest, and that unashamedly was born from my Leeds days and seeing how corporately they do. I say that unashamedly. How Rob Oates and the team, and how they get that place rocking and create a club within a club feel.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's sort of transcended into what I'm doing now, full time on the commercial department, and that's my ultimate goal, is to make the Wolves the best commercial department in the game, and you know, the gold standard, if you like, are the Rhinos. And as I say, going back to the interest in it, it's always been there.
Some of your colleagues have been calling you the Wolf of Warrington. Is that the case? Are you taking over?
I'm trying my hardest. You know. I think we've played together enough. If nothing else, I've been a trier.
Yep.
And I've been supported with a great team around me. I'm, obviously, from a commercial point of view, I'm all enthusiasm, out there, going and meeting people. But the actual detail, the processes that you have to follow up, I've had great support from the rest of the commercial side. So it's been good. Just been getting out and about, looking after my own diary, trying to get on a few golf days. But I'm learning a lot more about myself, and I'm really enjoying it.
Mate, you've always been one to stick your neck right out there. We're going back second longest neck in rugby league behind Kevin Brown.
I've just interviewed him in the corporate lounge.
Have you had a neck off? I know Jimmy Laws, for example, was quite tactile. He loved to get involved, do a bit of wrestling. You've always looked good. You've always been an athletic guy. Do you ever get involved with Shannon at all and doing any sort of physical bit of rugby?
The last bit I did, I went on the pre-season training camp. I was fortunate enough to go to Tenerife, so I did everything. One of the wingers got injured, so I did everything for 10 days. I need a new knee, that's the problem. I need a knee replacement, so I can do everything by run, so I can swim, box and do a bit of weights. But equally, and you'll appreciate this when you've been doing this, you're playing a lot longer than I have, but when you retire, it's kind of not having that commitment of pounding the pavements. I've really enjoyed different ways of training, but keeping fit, and it's good for the mind when you've had a long day in the office, or to get out and exercise, but in a different way, not in a needy way that I needed my body to perform. Just in a vanity way to fit in a suit.
You could say that it's a bit of a new time. Like, I'm involved with a charity called Tempest Novo, and this week I met, first of all, Prince Harry, who for me is bringing us into a bit of a new time. He brings us a new image as a patron of rugby league. We're talking about players like yourself who are the last of the first generation, really, to have played full-time rugby. Do you feel that in that commercial aspect, and as a retired player, that we are heading into a new time? Yeah,
absolutely. And you look at Kevin Sinfield, Jamie Peacock, you know, people of that, but also I think it's born out of experience of my time playing, and always wanting the game to grow more, expecting more of an athlete from a selfish point of view, but thinking, well, why can't it? And I know we're not football level, and I know what we are as a market, but what we've got is a great brand. We've got great people, accessible players, accessible pretty much from top to bottom of a club. You can't buy that. You can't buy that in a sport. And I think, you know, going tonight, we've had 100 kids playing pre-game. We've had behind the scenes, change rooms, tours. You know, I'm really proud of what we're trying to achieve at the Wolves, but as a game as well. And I think the more the players who are retired, it's not for everybody. People want to coach, but why not use that experience that we've built over a number of years in, you know, playing, but to our advantage as well.
And I want to ask you a little bit about identity, because this charity, Tempest Novo, is about prisoners, ex-offenders that are coming to end of the term and they're getting into jobs. And one of the big things that they're trying to do is break the cycle of crime, and Tempest Novo have got re-offenders right down to 90%. Right up to 90% in terms of 90% of who they get in contact with don't go and reoffend. A big part of that is changing who they are as people now. It's very hard to go from being a rugby player into another walk of life, because from school we've played sport, we've played professional rugby league, and then you've got to do something completely different. You've already mentioned it, the commitment to pounding, to getting up on the morning. How hard was that for you? And I'm asking as a player who's coming to end of my particular time to make that transition.
Yeah, it was tough. I think the more prepared you are away from the game makes it easier, but when we're and I've been institutionalised, and you go in every single morning, you know what to wear, what time to be there, what to eat, not just all that, it's that before we came on air, it's that hug, that mateship, that banter, that you kind of miss. But one of the big challenges is what I wanted to sort of, you're not just Richard Mathers rugby player, you're only that for such a short amount of time. So that only gives you grace for so long, whereas you've got to then start justifying your job role, and everybody's accountable. So what I wanted to do was position myself and plan off field, so when it was the time for the transition, that I had a few options, and it made it a lot easier. So you can't dine out on your name for the game's not too big, and I didn't want to do that. So I really feel that I'm at a club and in a job that has got real potential, and I think as a town, and I won't go into a big Warrington spiel, but I think as a town, the club sells itself, but the infrastructure of what's coming in the town, we're having Amazon are building a massive 3,000 creating 3,000 jobs half a mile up the road. We've got the Hook Group. The town is a really busy town, so from a commercial hat on and looking at sponsorships and fan engagement, there's loads to go at.
Talk about fan engagement. One of the hardest things in rugby league is commercial engagement. And companies like Amazon are massive. How did that all come about?
Yeah, it was good. We've got them as a guest tonight.
Wow.
We knew obviously the 3,000 people were hiring, and got in touch with the guy in London, and born of a relationship really. Was sort of, they were based in London, we're up here. Didn't know anything other than the connection of the Amazon warehouse. But what we did some really creative branding with the Amazon screens around, the LED, some real key messages on social media and digital. Everything's going digital these days.
That's it. That's key.
And it's how. And that's a new area. It's how to commercialise digital money.
Absolutely, monetise it.
So we put few different packages together. They've been brilliant, really innovative to work with. They're having some hospitality on us because they've been a great client already.
Mate, do you want a job at Rugby?
Get me on there, comes commercial. Simo's got all that tied up.
Well, he thinks he has. Just last question. We're talking about branding there, and I'm going to go back to Prince Harry. As a brand, as an ambassador for Rugby League, what do you think of him?
Sensational. I think the fact that a young man, you look at rugby league's traits. He had a lot to deal with young. Had to come through adversity at a very young age. We're losing his mother. Served as a soldier in the army, which has got similarities again and again with the mental health and stigma. And I think that alone. I'm a massive royalist. I think it's great that he's a patron of our game, but I think Harry's a really, really good suit. If you look at his personality and his life, how he's living that. To a lot of people who've played rugby league and what rugby league is about.
Nick, can I ask you a really difficult question? You mentioned it there with Prince Harry. You talked about losing your mother and losing a parent at such a young age. That happened to you as well, Richie. How does that forge you as a human being? I talk a lot about the experiences of rugby league being a tough sport, forges you into art, but nothing like that's happened to me, so I won't be able to experience it. But how did that forge you as a character?
Yeah, it shaped me as a man. At an early age, I lost my mum at 19 on Christmas Eve, and it had been a birthday on Boxing Day.
Wow.
And I played on the Boxing Day. I just sort of cracked on, and that was right for me at the time, and lost my mum at a young age. But looking back, as you do and reflect as you get a little bit older, that period, it was Christmas Eve 2003, that period from that day on, I went on to have probably 2 or 3 of the best professional years of my life, because everything was put into perspective. I had a clear focus on what I wanted to do. I wanted to get and achieve everything what my mum would have wanted me to achieve. But I guess it gives you that resolve of if you're having a bad day, and certainly puts life into perspective. So Yeah, it was tough times, but learned some strong lessons that I've stood with for the test of time.
There's some real emotional intelligence, mental strength. If that don't show you where the future rugby is going, then nothing will. Cheers, mothers.
Yeah, mate.
Cheers, mate.